trot and bump, I'm able to kind of catch myself on my elbow like this, right? And he's kind of coming in towards my guard, right? And my guard here, and I'm reaching through. You see, and I'm catching that leg and coming around. Pulls his arm out. If I don't feel like I can go right to here, right, I can go here. That makes sense, guys? Now again, a lot of times I'm trying to get over this leg. Okay. But if he starts to come up with that leg, okay, I'm going to try to catch this leg and lift and drive, dumping him to the side. And that could be, I could catch that leg over, or I could also reach under. Okay. This is kind of like starting to introduce the octopus guard, just like a different way to get there. Okay, and I could step over this leg, and that's going to slow him down. But if I don't get over that leg and he comes up, I'm going to start coming up, lifting this leg and dumping him to his back. Let's go back. And that leg comes up, having trouble turning that corner, can also come under that leg and start to elevate and take him to the ground. Back, and we do like a duck under. It could be kind of like a Kimura situation. Just kind of depends. So this was really popular in MMA because people would throw punches. BJ Penn used to do this. There's another guy who fought in private used to do this. So sometimes people would just block, be blocking punches here, and then they would slip under. They would come under here like this. Okay, you'll recognize this is kind of like the octopus guard position. Okay, so the octopus guard is kind of like reaching up and grabbing the trap with the kind of same side arm. So essentially you're doing a duck under and getting here. And then once you get here, you're just stepping out, one, switching your hands, two, okay? And again, it's created when you get different reactions, you kind of move different directions, and a lot of times it's done from half guard is very popular, and it's kind of turtle, because the leg entanglements can be very similar in half guard and in turtle, kind of like it is when you are in dogfight, and you come up to your knees, and you're kind of in turtle, but there's a little bit of a leg entanglement there. You could be going for the Kimura just like before. You start to get the arm away from the body, and he starts to straighten it out and bring it back over your head. So you could throw it over your head like this. Okay, shoot your arm through, catch the lat, and come behind. Or again, you could just have wrist control, right? And then you swim through and pull it behind. Does that make sense, guys? So it's however you can get armpit to armpit on the same side, meaning my left armpit on his left armpit. Okay, now I got to turn the corner. So I grab the lat, post the hand, hip out in a circular motion, switch my hands, post, and start coming up behind for the seatbelt. See how I use my head a little bit there? Questions, guys? My favorite ways to do it from half guard, and again, I'm going to show how it's like the more modern one is not necessarily only armpit to armpit. There's also going to be, can you turn a little bit this way? Yeah. There's also going to be some like grabbing of the leg once you come to like more of like a turtle variation. Okay, so it's not always going to be this, but like for the way I do it, it's when I consider it like octopus guard is mostly like this position, but that's not the only way. Come back. So a lot of times when I block the bicep like this, people want to switch and reach over my head, but also switch their hips. So when they do that, I just kind of like wedge here. You can drop in, kind of settle in. Okay, not too high, just like settle in, like lower, like to control my hips. Yeah, just drop your head down, settle in. Yeah, like sink, yes. Here. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping these frames in. That's what's important. Okay. I'm keeping my frames in because I don't want to end up getting too stuck. I don't want them here on my head too much, like this. And I also don't want to slide like shrimp into my armpit. Keep going. I don't want to be here, like, because now I can't come up. I don't want weight on my chest. So I'm making sure that I keep them low. Go down. So sometimes when I get in here, I'll start coming up like this, because what's important again is that I can get up on my elbow. I need to get to my elbow. Okay. So from here, I come up on my elbow and I get that grip on his lat. And we're gonna do this. Would be a 2-part move. He's gonna react one way or another. He's either gonna like keep his weight down here, or he's gonna kind of drive into me to try to flatten me back out. Okay. If I want to take his back on this, I need to win this position here. Okay. So stay where you are. All I'm gonna do here is a little hip heist and get this knee through. Once I have that knee through, I hip switch, okay, and then get my seat belt. But the indicator for me of which one of these sweeps I'm going to do, and I'll show you the second one now, is if there's space by that hip for my knee to go through. Okay. So if his knee is low enough to where I can get my knee here, then I'm going to go for the back. Okay. Sometimes what I'll have to do, bring your knee in a little tighter to my hip. Yeah, I'll hip heist, come all the way to here, and then shoot back through. Okay, and then I'm stepping that hook in, switching to the seatbelt. But if he keeps chasing me to keep his knee in here, to keep my knee from coming out, that's where I change. And this one I'd say lately, I've been hitting more than going behind, because that's what a lot of times people react that way. They feel you coming up like that. So what I'm going to do here, as I try to hip heist, is I'm going to step over like this. And it feels a little bit, you guys know your hip bump sweep from guard? It feels a lot like that, okay? Drop your hip. His hip drops, he's keeping my knee in. I can't get my knee out. So I do like a hip bump. Look, hip bump sweep. Okay, but here, again, 50-50, it can be 50-50. Okay? So I need to try to pass or sort out my arm position quickly. Like I might need to get here. That's one way I like to shut it down. Or I need to get this out. Because in this situation, if I stay here, he's going to hip heist and then shoot his knee behind. Okay? Or go back. Or when he tries to do that, I'm going to try to keep that knee in, and he's going to hip bump to the other side. You guys understand? So if you're not familiar with hip bump or that nomenclature there, from guard. Hip bump. No. Put your hand down there, please. Sit on your heels. This is what I mean by hip bump. You guys understand? So it's that kind of motion. And then when I hip bump like this, it's with instead of his arm, it's with his lat grip. And when I hip bump, I also step over. Okay, and then I'll settle in. And I try to adjust to make it not a 50-50 position, but we don't need to get too far down that path right now. He reaches over, I keep him low, okay, turn, because if he doesn't turn, I got his back already. He has to turn. Okay? If he turns, I keep him low. Okay? And what's nice about this is you can go into, like Tom likes to do this one. Right? His head stays low, I can't do that one. I start coming here, up to my elbow. Okay? Again, if I can find space for that knee, I'm shooting that knee out and taking the back. But if he shuts down that knee, okay, I'm trying to get this knee out, he keeps climbing his hips back, I bump here, hip bump, okay? And then I'm trying to clear my leg to pass, or if I can't, I'm trying to get to the head. If I get to the head, he can't get behind me anymore. Ready, 1, 2. This situation, because he's so far across, I might just do this. That is change his hips. Okay, his arm goes to the other side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up and catch his arm like this, but I'm going to switch my legs like this. Okay? You guys see the position I'm in? And now I can come all the way up to my knees if I want. Right? I can take him to the other side.